At exactly 2:57 a.m., the cold winds of Washington, D.C. swept across the silent halls of the Smithsonian Institution. The museum had long since closed, and the endless corridors sat in complete darkness, except for the faint red glow of surveillance cameras blinking through the shadows. Everything appeared normal on the surface, but somewhere deep inside the building, someone else was moving through the silence. Night curator Daniel Mercer, a respected employee who had spent 18 years protecting some of the world's most priceless artifacts, was making his final inspection round. Daniel was known for his discipline and precision. He knew every lock, every security protocol, and every hidden corridor inside the museum. That night should have been no different. As Daniel walked through the restricted lower wing, his radio suddenly crackled with static. He frowned and called security control, asking why camera 47 had gone offline. No one answered. The silence on the other end unsettled him. Gripping his flashlight tightly, he headed toward the Egyptian Antiquities Hall, a section of the museum that secretly housed an artifact unknown to the public. Buried deep within classified inventory files, the object was referred to as the Eye of Anubis, a black obsidian relic rumored to be worth over $40 million on the underground market. Only 6 people inside the Smithsonian even knew it existed. When Daniel reached the hall, he immediately sensed something was wrong. The heavy security door stood slightly open. Inside, the room was dark. He slowly raised his flashlight and swept the beam across the chamber. The reinforced glass case at the center of the room had been shattered. The artifact was gone. On the floor nearby lay a single black glove. Daniel instantly grabbed his radio and reported a security breach, but before he could finish speaking, a calm voice emerged from the darkness behind him. "You shouldn't have made that call." Daniel turned in shock, but he never saw the killer's face. The only sound that followed was the soft pop of a suppressed gunshot. Moments later, his body collapsed onto the marble floor. At 3:26 a.m., members of the museum cleaning staff discovered Daniel's corpse lying motionless inside the hall. His flashlight was still clenched tightly in his hand, and his eyes remained frozen open in terror. What shocked investigators most was the fact that not a single alarm had been triggered during the entire incident. No motion sensors activated, no laser grids detected movement, and no emergency lockdown occurred. It was as if whoever entered the museum knew the entire system from the inside. The FBI arrived within the hour, led by Agent Elena Ruiz, a forensic specialist known for exposing corruption inside high-profile institutions. As she examined the scene, several details immediately stood out. Daniel had been killed with a single professionally placed gunshot. There were no fingerprints, no DNA traces, and no signs of forced entry. However, Elena noticed something others had overlooked: fine golden dust on the sleeve of Daniel's coat. Laboratory analysis confirmed the dust came from the museum's artifact restoration lab, an area accessible to only a handful of employees. Elena requested the overnight staff list and discovered that 4 restoration employees had been scheduled that night, yet security footage only showed 3 leaving the building. The 4th employee, Marcus Vale, had disappeared. Marcus Vale was no ordinary museum worker. He was a senior restoration expert with a military background and unusually high security clearance. When FBI agents searched his apartment, they found it almost completely empty, as though someone had erased every trace of his existence. The refrigerator was bare, the hard drives had been removed, and all personal belongings were gone. The only item left behind was an old blueprint of the Smithsonian marked with red circles around hidden maintenance tunnels beneath the museum. Elena realized immediately that this had not been a spontaneous robbery. Someone had spent months planning the operation. As forensic analysts dug deeper into the museum's digital systems, another disturbing discovery surfaced. Exactly 11 minutes of surveillance footage had been deleted from the central servers, the precise 11 minutes during which Daniel was murdered and the artifact stolen. More alarming still, the deletion had come from an internal security terminal meaning someone inside the museum had deliberately covered the killer's tracks. News of the crime exploded across national media. Reporters labeled it the Midnight Curator murder, questioning how one of the most secure museums in the world could become the scene of a perfect heist and execution. But behind the public headlines, Elena uncovered something far darker. Hidden inside Daniel Mercer's office was an encrypted flash drive containing dozens of classified files. The files documented secret artifact transfers, falsified inventory records, and private underground auctions involving stolen historical treasures. Several names appearing in the documents belonged to wealthy collectors, influential politicians, and international power brokers. Daniel had apparently been investigating a sophisticated black market syndicate that stole priceless artifacts from museums and sold them to elite private buyers around the world. When Elena confronted the museum's director with the evidence, he dismissed her accusations as conspiracy theories. Yet Elena noticed the nervous tremor in his hands as he spoke. Later that night, while reviewing the files alone in her hotel room, her laptop screen suddenly flickered. A message appeared in black text: "Stop digging." Seconds later, another message followed. Daniel should have listened too. At that exact moment, heavy footsteps echoed slowly down the hallway outside her room. Elena drew her pistol as the shadow of someone standing outside became visible beneath the door. The handle moved slightly, then silence. After several tense seconds, the footsteps faded away. Elena rushed into the hallway, but no one was there. Only a single black museum glove lay on the carpet, identical to the glove found beside Daniel's body. The following morning, the FBI finally tracked Marcus Vail to an abandoned shipyard in Virginia. A heavily armed SWAT team stormed the location, expecting a confrontation. Gunfire erupted briefly inside the warehouse before agents secured the building. But when they reached the center room, Marcus was already dead. He had been tied to a chair and stabbed through the chest. On the wall behind him, written in blood, was a strange symbol, an eye enclosed within a triangle, the same symbol that appeared repeatedly throughout Daniel's hidden files. Elena realized Marcus had not been the mastermind. He had merely been another disposable pawn. The investigation narrowed toward the museum's upper leadership. Then forensic analysts uncovered one final clue. Under Daniel Mercer's fingernails, they discovered microscopic fibers from a rare dark green Italian wool, fabric typically used in custom executive clothing. Elena immediately reviewed photographs from recent Smithsonian Gala events. In one image, the museum director stood smiling in a dark green tailored coat, identical to the fibers recovered from Daniel's body. Armed with a warrant, Elena and her team raced to the director's mansion, but they arrived too late. The estate had been abandoned. Computer servers were wiped clean, luxury vehicles were missing, and confidential documents burned slowly inside the fireplace. Resting alone on a wooden desk was a handwritten note. Artifacts never belong to history, they belong to those powerful enough to take them. Beneath the message was the same iron triangle symbol. Despite months of investigation, the case was officially declared unsolved. The Eye of Anubis was never recovered. The museum director vanished and was placed on an international watch list, but authorities never found him. Then, 3 months later, rumors surfaced about a secret black market auction somewhere in Europe, where an anonymous buyer purchased an artifact matching the description of the stolen relic for $93 million. The buyer's identity remained sealed, but leaked footage from the auction revealed a mysterious woman seated silently in the back row. She wore a black coat and held something in her hand, Daniel Mercer's old Smithsonian Access badge. Some investigators believe Daniel was murdered not simply for protecting an artifact, but because he had discovered a hidden network connecting elite collectors, corrupt officials, and secret syndicates operating across the world's most prestigious institutions. And according to museum employees, strange things still happen inside the Smithsonian after midnight. Guards claim that around 3 a.m., emergency radios sometimes crackle with static before a faint voice whispers through the silence. Why is camera 47 offline?